I'm Allendale's Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin with a look at your midday weather update. Not a lot of change in the domestic thought process here short term. We've got a lot of warm air surging northward through the first 3 to 4 days of this week. Today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, all looking at well above normal temperatures over a large part of the Corn Belt. That's going to be with southwesterly winds that are developing ahead of our next system that works through. The system comes through in two pieces. First, the low that moves through the northern plains and up into Canada as we head through midweek, Wednesday into early Thursday. That one will likely trigger rains on the order of a few hundredths to maybe 3 or 4 tenths. So winds are good. There's going to be cloud cover that's huge, but in terms of realistic precipitation that falls, not much to deal with there. The second piece comes up along the same front. So while that low lifts up into Ontario, the front does slowly work its way across the plains and into the western Corn Belt. And by Thursday morning, we're going to be seeing a significant low coming out of New Mexico, across the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles, and up through Kansas and Nebraska. That one will have a nice batch of rain ahead of it, maybe some strong to severe weather coming out of the central plains into the western Corn Belt. Watch very closely the backside, topside and backside areas of this low. If cold air comes in fast enough, that could be interesting, but still, we like good precipitation there. I like this system to put down anywhere from 1/4 to 3/4 of an inch with about 75% coverage, and I think there will be some pockets that go over an inch, specifically looking at central Iowa, maybe getting some heavier rains coming together, and then on up into parts of Wisconsin and Michigan, northern Michigan. So we'll have to see, and again, watch very, very closely how the cold air wants to come in behind. Right now, I'm not calling for a huge changeover, but this is one of those classic early winter systems that it doesn't take much. You can get right on the line and have to try and throw a little bit of sloppy wet snow in. As much as I'm not ready to go that route with this storm, as we get cold air to come in following it and keeping us normal to below with temperatures into early next week, the system that comes out across the central plains at midweek next week is phenomenal. Strong, super strong low. Works its way through eastern parts of Nebraska next to Wednesday. This would be the 11th. And it picks up some decent moisture. Not really off the Gulf. We don't see the leading edge triggering rain and thunderstorms that much, but we do see topside and backside moisture that, if the current European model holds true, will probably lead to a significant snow event in South Dakota, northern parts of Nebraska, southern parts of North Dakota. I'm just looking at the winds. I mean, forget the precipitation right now, but the winds alone, if the current European model does hold true to form, by the end of the day next Wednesday evening, early Thursday, I'm seeing 50 to 60 mile an hour winds in parts of South Dakota. Now, I'm also not going to sit here and say that happens. I'm going to say that, this thing probably loosens its grip a little bit, but the pressure circulation on this, as the model shows it now, is phenomenal. We're talking low pressures that rival what we were talking about with that hurricane that came across Mexico, a week or so ago. Huge, huge pressure gradients. So we'll see. And if it's that strong, like I said, with the cold air coming in behind and some cold air already in place, could be a big-time story, especially for cattle operations, South Dakota, Nebraska, so on and so forth. So pay attention to that. As we go longer term, looking at a big change, while this system here seems to want to kind of take us more toward the cold, I also see us after the 15th getting an upper-level ridge in play over the eastern part of the United States. That would take temperatures back above normal in the east, but every action needs an equal and opposite reaction. I see cold air digging southward over the western United States, so that'll be an interesting turn of events. And then as we take a look at international weather, still not seeing big changes. I've found it kind of interesting how the spin has changed on some of the rains in South America now being bad. It looks to me like they're the same as they have been, so maybe just a talking point, but we look like we have another 3 to 5 days of scattered rain shower action pretty much every day across key areas in Brazil, and not so much down in Argentina. Brazil is where the rains are at. Not looking at a big pickup in precipitation over the Black Sea region. Russia here this week, maybe next week we've got a front or two trying to sneak in. And Australia still has scattered rains around for parts of wheat country. But generally speaking, on the world scene, not a lot of changes to start this week. That's the way things are stacking up. If you've got any questions on the weather, give us a call at Allendale. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin.